Welcome to Build with Naz. My name is Naz. I'm the founder of Rebel and the maintainer of the Rebel open core repo, which actually contains a lot of Rust crates for text user interfaces and even async terminal like libraries that allow you to create asynchronous REPLs and shells for the terminal. So I'm also the author of developlife.com. Today's video is going to be a very short one, and I actually ran into this recently where I've done a bunch of Ubuntu 24 videos, like migrating away from Pop! OS and switching to Ubuntu, and there have been a lot of teething issues with Wayland, and also recently I ran into issues using Firefox with both Flatpak and Snap. So in both cases, I can show you. So this is Firefox, and this is a depiction of the problem. So in one of the cases when I was first using Flatpak, there were essentially my profile directory, and there was some other directory that it was inaccessible to Flatpak, and then which was odd because due to some sandboxing constraints with Flatpak. So then I switched to Snap, and then when I did that, I lost all my custom fonts because I put all my fonts in my home directory, and the Snap packages, even though they had the appropriate permissions for Snap, they still couldn't access the fonts that are stored in my .fonts directory off of my home directory. So so for that reason, I was trying to use a Debian package, but I could not find one. I did a bunch of research, and ultimately I landed on this article that I'll go through right now. But let me show you the problem I was encountering with Snap packages. So here I have in about config, I actually, let me see if this is big enough. Yeah. If you notice, I am filtering out by the word West. And one of the things that what this does is that it's kind of like a very fancy way of, let me show you. When you go to fonts, whatever you choose here ends up in here. And so the way I wanted to configure my Firefox is to literally override all the fonts so that no matter what I was using Nodo Sans for everything. And there's a way to set this up so that, like, for example, you could say, I think it's Nodo, yeah, like this. So you can do this, you can do like that, and you can do this, and this should make all the fonts Nodo Sans, which it isn't. This is actually monospace. And let's see, what am I doing? Maybe this one too. Wonder if that did. Yeah, I think that did it. Yep. So essentially, like, I think that did it. So these fonts, Nodo, Sans, NFB, whatever it is, it's actually in my where is it? That's font manager. It's in my Nodo Sans. It is in my home directory .local share fonts, and then this path. So essentially, even though this about config, the registry for Firefox, was configured correctly, it simply could not resolve the string into the correct font name, the correct font, because the Snap package wasn't able to access this local share fonts directory. It was a really strange problem. It took me a little bit of time to debug. So what I ended up doing is that instead of using either the Flatpak or the Snap package, I ended up trying to install Firefox directly. And one way to do that is you can just download the tar gzip file from Mozilla, and then basically untar it and then put it on your computer and just launch it that way. But there's an even better way, and I was doing that at first, and then Firefox told me that there's a better way to do this. And so here, so that the strange thing, because on Ubuntu the default is snapd. When I went to let's see, when I went to type sudo apt install Firefox, what it was actually doing is that it would just use the snap package. So it would intelligently override what I was doing, and it would treat it as if it was sudo snap install Firefox. And whether I tried classic, that didn't really help. It still has a sandboxing in place. But yeah, so and I didn't want to do this. So there was, by default, Ubuntu 24 has it configured such that even when you try to do sudo apt install Firefox, it ends up using the snap. It's pretty sneaky. So this article on the Mozilla's website is pretty good, and it's not that old actually. So about 2 weeks ago. So this information I couldn't really find it in doing any searches, or even asking Gemini or Duck AI. So here, essentially what happens is you have to add the Mozilla PPA, and then you have, this is the important part, you have to configure apt to prioritize packages from the Mozilla repo over what's provided in by default on Ubuntu 24. So this is super duper important. And then once you take these steps, this will work. Sudo apt basically install Firefox. And so just wanted to go over that. And then yeah, so there's there's instructions on how to install it from Flatpak or Snap. I do not recommend that if you want to use custom fonts for doing things like this, because due to sandboxing constraints of both of those package managers, there's issues in accessing those fonts, which is really bizarre. I mean, it's not bizarre, it's unfortunate, and I don't think there's any plans to remedy that as far as I know. So one thing I also did is that I have this repo that I started for Ubuntu 24, and I added the Firefox issues to this. So yeah, again, this is really useful if you have heavy font customization like I do, which is one of the reasons I love using Linux. Yeah, so this is one way to make Firefox work with this. So if you look at my sort of settings, one of the things I'll do is that I will not allow pages to choose their own fonts, and that way I'm essentially enforcing these settings on all websites. So all the websites look kind of like using the Notosense M, basically the Notosense, I think nerd font. This is the semi-condensed, which is really cool. Like even Gmail looks like it's got the Notosense fonts, which is really cool. So here, in order to make it super straightforward, I actually added a script called install Firefox bash. So you can get it from this repo, Rust Scratch Ubuntu 24. I'll put a link to this in the description of the video, and it just takes those commands from this this thing, and it just makes it into a script. So hopefully this will you won't have to spend hours on this like I did earlier today. So yeah, that's actually the video. It's a really small one. Normally my videos are hours long, but this was a quick one. Yeah, if you like the style of this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel so you get notified whenever I release new videos. And if you haven't already, check out developerlife.com, and you can join our Discord to provide any feedback or comments, or you can sign up for our newsletter. I don't send out that many of these, maybe once or twice a month. And then recently I added a new section for this one, for Rebel, announcing that we do local first productivity software, but I'll do more videos on local first computing. This is something that I'm actually very excited about. Okay, and on that note, hope this was useful for you, and you'll see me in the next one.